It's been 3 years since I passed away, and my boyfriend came to visit me with his new girlfriend. Holding her hand, he stared at my tombstone and said with a smile, "Paula, I won't be coming to see you anymore. I'm starting a new life now." My smile froze on my face, and after a long pause I murmured, "It's about time." When I've been dead for 3 years, and Peter has come for 3 years. Every Friday Peter arrives without fail, rain or shine. He buys a bouquet of flowers, places it beneath the tombstone, then sits and chatters about recent events. From major events at the United Nations to minor details like his lunch being too hard today, he didn't like it. Without hearing any response, without getting any answer, he kept talking to himself in my grave like this for 3 years. All the neighbors around me were envious, saying I must have saved the galaxy in my past life to encounter such a devoted man. I preened with pride, "It's all because of my charm," I said. But in truth, I didn't want Peter to come. His constant dwelling on the past wasn't healthy. I always urged him to move on quickly, yet when this day actually arrived, I couldn't help but feel my eyes welling up. To the cemetery at midnight was surprisingly lively. The new neighbor moved in a chatterbox about my age. She patted my shoulder and asked, "Will your boyfriend come tomorrow?" That fool, he'd never miss it. 3 years already, I corrected 1,166 days. The female ghost let out a dry chuckle you remember quite clearly. How could I not? Day and night, I've kept it all in my heart. Friday was overcast with rain falling in the early morning. Peter arrived as promised. His expression was obscured by the umbrella he held, but he carried an enormous bouquet of roses in his arms. The female ghost's jaw dropped. The military report was wrong, didn't it say he'd only bring one bouquet? As Peter approached, I noticed the bastard had gotten even more handsome. Then again, this guy had been a heartbreaker since school days, and these years he'd only gotten worse. He placed the bouquet down, looked up, and smiled. "It's a bit chilly today, Paula. Happy 5th anniversary." The roses came with a handwritten card, each stroke carefully penned. Every anniversary Peter would bring a bouquet of roses. Leaning against the side, I chuckled ruefully. "You still remember how time flies? It's already been 5 years." Peter sat down beside me, his voice warm and mellow. "Paula, guess who I ran into on my way here?" I pouted. "How could anyone guess with a clue like that?" Peter said slowly, "Let me narrow it down for you. A classmate. Peter and I attended the same school from elementary through college." I scoffed. "That's as good as saying nothing." Whenever Peter spoke to me, he'd always leave a trap with each step forward. Even without hearing a reply, he'd still give me time to think. When the time came, he finally spoke. "Arthur, the classmate who always pulled your hair in high school, remember him?" With that, it suddenly came back to me. In high school, I wasn't in the same class as Peter. I was known throughout the grade as a delicate crybaby, and the chubby boy sitting behind me always pulled my hair just to see me burst into tears. Back then, Peter was the famously brilliant student in our high school, the kind whose mere mention could make girls squeal. But his personality wasn't as gentle as it is now. He was notoriously difficult to mess with. One time, after being provoked, I broke down sobbing. With a loud bang, Peter kicked the door open and stormed in. I turned around, my tear-filled eyes meeting his gaze. He met my gaze with a dark expression, clicking his tongue impatiently. Without a word, Peter grabbed Arthur and dragged him before me. Apologize. Arthur could bully me just fine, but when facing Peter, he immediately begged for mercy and kept apologizing. Peter didn't let go, staring at Arthur. "Bother her one more time, and I'll burn that hair of yours." No one made a sound in the classroom. Arthur was genuinely scared, nodding like pounding garlic. Only then did Peter release his grip, looking down at me as he fished out a piece of candy from his pocket. "Stop crying, so useless. You didn't even tell me." It was from that moment on that I noticed my heart would always race uncontrollably whenever I saw Peter. The sight of him would set off fireworks in my chest without warning. 3, I nodded. "Of course, I remember. Why do you ask?" "He is already married, and his child can walk now." "Really?" I sighed. That was fast. Peter brought strawberries this time, and they look so delicious. I'm craving them. I keep trying to pick one up, but I can never grasp it. Rolling up my sleeves, I listened to him talk while reaching for the strawberries, but my hands kept passing right through them. I was just too timid back in high school. If it were now, I'd definitely beat him up. But ever since you came to class to scare him, he never bullied me again. Peter gazed into the distance, seemingly recalling something, and suddenly laughed. "Actually, I never told you. After the holidays, I went and gave Arthur another beating." "Fine, you're so mean." I spread my arms to pretend to scare him, but then heard him say, "Arthur insists on introducing me to a girl." My hands froze mid-air. I stiffened for 2 seconds before suddenly losing interest. I sat down too. "Then just accept it. You're not getting any younger anyway." I said, "I have a girlfriend now, gentle, sweet, and she loves me," Peter said softly, touching the ring on his finger, "and I love only her." "Paula," Peter lowered his eyes, "I wanted to have a child with you too." Listening to him, I felt both heartache and irritation. How foolish of you, making the memory of this love last longer than the love itself. "Paula," Peter's voice grew hoarse, "I miss you so much." "Did you miss me?" My eyes reddened. "You're so annoying, always making me cry every time you visit." For before I could even start crying, the female ghost burst into tears first. Wiping her tears, she said, "This is fucking some sci-fi movie shit. My damn ex only knew how to cheat on me. I trade 30 years of my ex's life for you two to grow old together, no make that their entire lifespan." Tears welled up, but I forced them back, laughing. "Thank you, CP warrior." Peter kept rambling on, mostly spouting cheesy romantic lines. I wanted to cry, but felt too embarrassed to do so in front of a female ghost. I pushed the female ghost, "Hurry up and leave. None of my past neighbors have been as tactless as you." At this mention, the ghost froze for a moment before grabbing my hand in return. Paula, how long did you say you've been in the human world? All I wanted was to push her away. Peter wouldn't be staying long, and I wanted more time alone with him. The female ghost's already unpleasant expression darkened further as she pulled out the underworld code of conduct. Paula, how can you be like this? I like it this way. After pushing and shoving the female ghost away, I sat back down beside Peter. Peter kept his eyes fixed on the ground as the rain grew heavier. He must have been exhausted. His umbrella hand had tilted, leaving most of his body exposed to the downpour. He didn't speak again. Before leaving each time, he would always fall silent for a while. Only today his stay seemed unusually long. 5. Peter, I sighed. It's time to think about your future. What's the point of always picking on a dead person like me? Peter couldn't hear it, but I said it every single time. If Peter could hear me, his ears would probably grow calluses from how often I repeat it. Time to move on. If possible, could you take care of my parents for me too, please? Peter, forget about me. At first it was always Peter who did the talking, but in the end it was always me who kept chattering on. Peter sat quietly in place, in some ways as if he were truly listening to me. Peter, I repeated. Forget about me. Peter stayed unusually long this time. After a prolonged silence, he suddenly began speaking again. Actually, I didn't tell you. I moved recently. I'm moving to a place closer to here, so it'll be more convenient to come here. The house feels empty. I kept the room arrangements just like we had them before, though I made a few changes on my own. I changed the bed sheets. I don't like pink anymore. Paula, would you be angry with me? But I've kept all your things. Whenever I come home, it still feels like you're here. You never left. Milk tea has been picky with food lately, but somehow got chubbier. She must miss you terribly. Whenever I play your voice recording, she rolls around on the floor begging for attention. As I listened, I couldn't help but cry. Peter, what the hell are you doing? Everywhere in life there are traces of me. How could you possibly move on? 7. Peter left. He had made a decision. He said, Paula, a week is too long. From now on I'll come to see you every day, okay? 8. After Peter left, the female ghost approached, her eyes rimmed red. You always say Peter is a fool, but I think you're the real one. I tilted my head to look at her then. Who do you think is more foolish? The ghost girl turned her head away, pouting. You're both at the peak of stupidity, can't tell the difference anymore. I laughed. I think yes, a little more foolish. From then on, Peter really started coming every single day. He talked more and more frequently. They were all trivial things, but I loved hearing them. Peter came for a whole week straight. Then there was a moment as if everything had vanished. When he came again, I keenly noticed the ring on his hand was gone. My heart suddenly turned cold as if realizing something, and I abruptly looked up at Peter. This time Peter didn't bring flowers. His eyes were filled with joy. It's getting colder, Paula. At his words, the female ghost fell silent. In the vast space, only Peter's voice remained. He leaned against the tombstone, silent for a long moment before finally exhaling. I suddenly feel a bit weary of this place. So, even love has an expiration date, and so did my love for you. Peter lowered his head and smiled faintly. These days I haven't come, and surprisingly, I don't feel much about it anymore. Paula, I think it's time I let you go. The new girl at the company made my heart flutter for the first time in ages. Just seeing her makes my heart race unconsciously. That day when I saw her exhaling into the cold rain in her short skirt, a voice echoed in my mind. It said, from now on I must protect this girl with all my heart. Realizing love can be so unexpectedly sudden. When Peter said this, his eyes seemed to sparkle, twinkling with nothing but joy and adoration. Paula, would you blame me? I stood in the cold wind, feeling it pierce straight through my chest. Wave after wave of sharp pain. So ghosts can feel pain too. After waiting so long for these words, hearing them suddenly was harder to accept than I'd imagined. How could I possibly blame you? I'm overjoyed for you. I averted my gaze and laughed loudly twice. Laughing and laughing, when my eyes met Peter's gaze, my nose tingled with sourness, and I could no longer muster a smile. I stared at him for a long moment before hoarsely saying that us good. It really is good. That day was sunny and Peter came to see me again. From afar, I spotted Peter. His striking figure always made him stand out in a crowd. Peter hadn't come for some time, and seeing him suddenly felt almost unreal. But this time there was a girl by his side. I abruptly stood up, my entire body going rigid. Peter brought her to see me. Holding her hand, he smiled at the tombstone. Paula, I won't be coming to see you anymore. I'm starting a new life now. 10. The sunlight is blinding. I couldn't open my eyes, fully squinting as I mumbled, that's great news. I've been telling you to start a new life, and look at you now, you seem so much more alive. You really should stand in the sunlight, Peter. That's the real you, I said, suddenly choking up, barely managing to stay upright by leaning on the female ghost. I might be a little hypoglycemic, I rarely lose control of my emotions like this. Fortunately, Peter couldn't see. He held the girl's hand tightly, his downward gaze no longer carrying that initial fervor. Peter seemed to have truly let go. They say a new love is the best remedy for old wounds. Nothing could make me happier than knowing Peter has found healing. I secretly wiped away my tears, feeling as if a weight had been lifted, and smiled. Peter, I'm truly happy for you. 3 years, and finally back on track. He spoke as if to an ordinary friend. Once I thought this life would just pass by in vain. But I still managed to meet the person I want to spend my life with. I'm very fortunate. Let the past years be treated as just a dream. Peter, am resolute when I love only one person. When you love with all your heart, there's simply no room left for anyone else. He slightly tightened his grip on the girl's hand as he spoke, and only then did I notice the matching couple's rings on their fingers. They were even engraved with letters truly thoughtful. Yes, Peter's love has always been fervent and unmistakable. He is the blazing sun, and so is his love. Peter took a ring from his pocket and gently placed it on the tombstone. Paula, he said softly, his voice tender. Goodbye. Leaving so soon, I suddenly stood up, my vision blurred with tears that made his face indistinct. I tried to wipe away the tears, but they just kept coming. The last glimpse, oh, that final glimpse. Don't let my memory retain only a blurred silhouette. I'm such a weakling. The harder I try, the more tears keep falling. I want to look carefully. I want to memorize it properly. The last meeting was so abrupt, completely unprepared. Peter didn't linger. As usual, he carefully held the girl's hand, ready to leave. At the moment he turned away, I couldn't help but speak, my voice choked with sobs. Peter, can you still? Before I could finish, Peter had already turned his back. I trembled as I spoke. I still can. Can you say you love me one more time? 12. Peter left. With his departure, all vitality was taken away. Everything fell silent around me. I lowered my gaze and stood there in a daze, frozen for what felt like an eternity. The ring lay there lonely, and I compared it to my finger, wanting to pick it up. I tried again and again, but the ring didn't budge. I grew frantic, throwing my hands over to feel for it. The ghost girl panicked and started calling me Paula. Paula. What are you doing? Don't scare me like this. I looked up blankly. I want to wear it. I pointed at the ring. I want to put the ring on. The female ghost fell silent at once. She stood there staring at me quietly, her eyes rimmed red. I lunged forward again. The female ghost held me firmly in her arms and whispered softly. Don't take Paula. We won't take it anymore. It's been 3 years. It's time for you to let go. 13. Yes, it's time to let go. Peter S. like this, and the whole world rejoices. I burst into laughter for a long time, then started running wildly, singing and dancing. This cemetery is too quiet. It needs some sound. When I got tired from running, I leaned against the tombstone and chatted lazily. Peter, next time you come, don't bring strawberries. I'm getting a little tired of this too. I want to eat the steamed dumplings from the breakfast place near our neighborhood. Could you bring me a basket of them? It's been so long since we last went there together. And also the crab stew from that restaurant in the square and the candied hawthorns from the alley. Autumn is almost here. And also, Paula, the female ghost suddenly interrupted me. Don't be like this. How I snapped out of it. Oh, so he is not coming anymore. I lowered my eyes to stare at the ring and murmured, it's nice. May you grow old together, Peter. 14. The female ghost was furious. This was the first time she'd ever gotten angry with me, grabbing me and demanding to know what I was trying to do. Peter is gone. How could you promise me that? Peter won't be coming back. You can't stay in the human world any longer. Do you understand? She screamed hysterically. I stared at her and suddenly laughed. You startled me so badly my ears are ringing. I smoothed her hair, and you always have to meddle in everything. None of the previous neighbors were as nosy as you. The female ghost turned her head away, refusing to look at me. You know full well they were all previous neighbors. Because everyone else left. Yes, ghosts can't stay in the human world for long. I slowly sat down, gazing into the distance as I began to speak. In the past, I was always pushing Peter away, but now that it's really happening, I can't accept it. I know I can't stay any longer, but I can't bear to part with it. I want to stay one more day in this place where Peter searched for me for 3 years. Just one more moment. Tilting my head as I watched the female ghost's tear-streaked face, I chuckled bitterly. Sometimes, I wonder how will Peter and her get along. Will he dry her hair for her? Will he patiently coax her when she asks, being willful? He probably will. Peter is such a considerate man, he wouldn't want to make her sad. But the more I think about it, the sadder I feel. I chuckled self-deprecatingly. I've been persuading Peter for 3 years. In the end, the one who couldn't let go was me. 16. I lingered too long, and even the female ghost grew impatient with me. She said if I didn't leave, she'd be buried along with me. It took me a long while before I finally whispered, why must you do this? She pulled at me and said so many things. I listened quietly as she spoke until dawn broke. The female ghost said that this year she had originally planned to get engaged to her boyfriend, but an accident revealed that her soon-to-be husband actually had another woman on the side. She was driving home when she got into a car accident, and that home was never reached again. She said life always has its regrets, and everyone has them. Peter could stay with you for 3 years, but not for a lifetime. You should know that better than anyone. The female ghost was chattering away with her arm around my shoulders when her gaze swept past something behind me. With just that one glance, her voice abruptly choked off. She blinked vacantly, her lips trembling. As if sensing something, I wiped the careless smile from my lips. Slowly, I turned my head to follow her line of sight. The sound of rain pattered down. A black figure gradually grew larger and larger. As it drew nearer, even the sound of raindrops hitting the umbrella became strikingly clear. Peter walked step by step, holding an umbrella. 17. He stood rigidly before my tombstone, silent for a long moment before finally speaking. After some thought, I felt I should properly say goodbye to you. Paula, thank you for coming into my life and bringing me so much happiness over the years. We're engaged now. Yesterday, she had a dream. She dreamt of you. Paula, don't come to scare her. We're both doing well. If you can hear me, just forget about me. Okay, I stared at him, remaining silent for the first time. The rain has been falling for a long time. Peter has also stayed for a long time. As if bidding a final farewell. This time I could see his face clearly. He still looks just as I remember. When the rain stopped, he stood up, closed his umbrella, looked up at the sky, and let out a soft chuckle. Paula, this is the last time. Farewell sounds too ominous, so goodbye. I'll be doing just fine, hope you are too. Peter was completely gone this time, without hesitation or lingering. I stared in the direction he left for a long, long time. When I finally looked away, I could no longer shed tears. The female ghost gently tugged at me. Paula, she gone. 18 in the end, I never got to hear those 3 words I longed for. But I won't insist anymore. He is someone he loves now. Let him say those words to her instead. From Peter's perspective, when it's Friday today, and it's raining outside, the thought of seeing Paula makes me unable to calm down. Practicing a composed expression in the mirror. Paula is very clever. She'd notice the slightest slip-up. Fortunately, after 3 years, I've gotten quite good at hiding it. I've become quite skilled at it. Paula is waiting for me obediently again. She's always like this. I set the flowers down and looked up with a smile. It's a bit chilly today, Paula. I wonder if you feel cold. Happy 5th anniversary. How quickly 5 years have passed. It's been 3 years since you left. If you were still here, you'd be driving me crazy about the anniversary by now. You'd have definitely pounced on me first thing in the morning to drag me out of bed. Then we'd go downstairs to buy strawberry cake. But today I didn't make it in time to buy the strawberry cake. I miss you so much. I ran into Arthur on the way here. His child is really adorable. Paula, if you were here, our baby would probably be about that age too. I never told you, but before your accident, I was discussing with my mother about when to formally visit your parents. I wanted to give you a surprise, but I never got the chance to tell you. Though it's not a big deal in my heart, you were already the one I, Peter, wanted to spend my life with. It's just that the living and the dead walk different paths, so I can't properly speak to you. But just being able to look at you like this is enough to satisfy me. For every time I come, I tell you all these trivial things. Do you ever find me annoying? Truth is, I just want you to know that my life is going well. But actually it's not so good either. The house is too quiet now, just me through all the seasons, through sunshine and rain, through full moons and new. I still can't get used to life without you. If you knew, you'd probably pinch my ear and call me an idiot. Alright, I am an idiot. 5. Do you want to eat strawberries now? I saw you reaching for them, so silly, stretching, but never quite getting there. When they mentioned introducing you to another girl, your face darkened again. Still so terrible at hiding your feelings. Tears welled up in your eyes after just a few words. You used to tell me you weren't that crybaby from childhood anymore. But I saw you, bet you never thought I could see you. Little liar 6. Paula. I heard everything. You can't stay in the human world forever, can you? I think I made a mistake. I should have realized it sooner. Actually, there is so much more I wanted to say, but suddenly, I couldn't speak at all. I stood there frozen, as if all strength had been drained from my body. My heart aches so badly it hurts to breathe. I couldn't recover for the longest time. I told you, how about I come see you every day from now on? Truth is, I'm the one who can't let go of you. This is the last week I've left us, one final week. Paula, you probably don't know I made this decision on my own. Our meetings have begun their countdown. 8. Paula, you're telling me to move on with my life again. This time, I might really have to put on this show for you. Please don't start crying, okay? I can't hold you in my arms. I recounted in detail everything that had happened between us. You've heard everything I know and everything you didn't know. You said I've become more talkative this time. But if I don't speak now, there'll never be another chance. 7 days passed so quickly. Paula, to make this act more convincing, I deliberately visited you once before bringing the girl. Before going, I took off the ring. You're so observant. You must have noticed, right?
Paula, will you blame me?
You said you wouldn't blame me, but I blame myself. 10. The day has finally come. Paula, why couldn't you even keep up the act for these few minutes? How could a ghost possibly get hypoglycemia, you fool? But you're crying so hard it's making me feel faint. 11. I said I wouldn't be coming to see you anymore after this. I, Peter, am resolute when loving someone. I love only that one person. Loving with all my heart leaves no room for another. But I haven't finished my last words. In this lifetime, you're the only one I'll ever love. 12. Paula, I've left the ring for you. Just like we said before. Forget me, it's you who should move forward while I choose to stay here, guarding our memories. Goodbye, Paula. I turned away in disarray. One more second, and you'd have seen through me. In just a few minutes, I resisted the urge to look at you hundreds of times. 13. Paula, I heard you. Can you say, I love you one more time? I love you, I really do love you. 14. Leaving the cemetery, I suddenly felt unsteady on my feet. The girl complained that I was holding her hand too tightly, leaving it red. She took off the ring and returned it to me, offering polite consolation. Why must you be like this, she said. You should let go now. I smiled and said, let go, I let go long ago. 15. As soon as I opened the door, milk tea came bounding over. It seemed to sense my sadness, staying by my side the whole time. In a daze, I thought I saw your shadow. You leaned on the sofa, holding bubble tea in your arms, tilting your head to look at me. Peter, let us go watch a movie tonight, okay? What do you want to see? I want to watch a horror movie. Now I have an excuse to throw myself into your arms. That's so cliché, but you don't need an excuse to come into my arms. 16. For days I've been in a daze, haunted by your shadow. Paula, have you gone? I want to see you one last time. I'm sorry, Paula, otherwise I really can't go on like this. I said we still need to properly say goodbye. You really haven't left yet. Paula, why won't you listen? I said harsh words through your tear-blurred eyes. You still smiled and said it was fine. I'm sorry, Paula, this is the last time I'll make you cry. 17 for a long time after that I never went back. Until winter came and suddenly the snow began to fall. I only dared to step into this place. Now Paula was truly gone and the silence around was terrifying. I watched and watched, suddenly feeling my eyes grow hot with tears. I sat alone for a long time. This place at last has no trace of you left. Left all alone, just me. At last I could openly look around without restraint. Every time I come to visit, I never dare to do it openly. Afraid I couldn't help but meet your gaze. I can only steal a few glances when you turn your head. Who wants to keep staring at that cold, lifeless tombstone, anyway? 18 It's almost Chinese New Year, Paula. This is the first spring festival without you. I wanted to properly decorate our home, but the milk tea suddenly left as well. For the first time in all these years, when I opened the door, it didn't come to greet me. I recently bought a new cat tree and haven't had time to dispose of the old one yet. The cat food in the bowl remains unfinished. The little one just left like that. Just the other day it was still snuggling in my arms as I stroked its belly. I told it, you're all I have now. You won't leave me, will you? It clearly responded to me then. It's gone with you too, hasn't it? You didn't leave me a single keepsake, you heartless little thing.
Fine.
After seeing off the milk tea, I stood silently in the empty room. With a sudden lift of my head, a firework bloomed outside the window. Then one after another they began to burst open. You loved watching fireworks, most of all. On normal days you'd have been shouting excitedly for me by now. It's almost Chinese New Year, Paula. 20. I've grown increasingly reluctant to go outside. I speak less, unless they all say I'm ill. I'm not ill, I just miss you too much. I'm perfectly sober, but I don't want to face it. 21 Arthur suddenly came to visit me. How rare that he still remembers me. His child can already walk with such a lovely name. Yaya. Arthur's smile made his eyes disappear. He said he chose this name hoping Yaya would always be happy. Yaya, I murmured the name. What a coincidence. You had chosen the name Yaya back then too. 22 Arthur kept me company for a long while. He advised me not to be like this, yet still couldn't shake off the idea of introducing me to other girls. I no longer have the strength to love anyone. I patted his shoulder and told him so. Forget it, really, just forget it. 23 I've been trying to grow flowers all these years. I've even watered them on schedule. Why can't they ever turn out as nice as yours? Paula, you haven't taught me yet. 24 Paula, happy 8th anniversary. The weather is lovely today. Unknowingly 3 years have passed. I'm almost getting used to living alone. Occasionally, I spend an afternoon at my mother Anna's place. But I don't visit often. She always nags me to get married and have children. She's even more of a chatterbox than you were. Paula, if you were still here, I wouldn't have to listen to all this nagging. 25 Paula, happy 10th anniversary. I've visited many places we never got to see together. I've witnessed countless sights you never had the chance to behold. Paula, I can't let you go. This love keeps growing deeper in my heart. It's driving me crazy. 26 Paula, I miss you so much. 27 Paula, happy 12th anniversary. Let me say something sentimental. You told me you cried the first time you saw me because I seemed too fierce. I thought to myself, good that you were scared to tears. I was always a fierce person to begin with. I came from a single-parent family, while Anna was soft-natured. I just wanted to protect him properly, so I always put on an unapproachable demeanor. It wasn't until I met you that I realized protecting someone doesn't require being fierce every day. Today, I went to see Anna. At the dinner table, she suddenly brought up the marriage topic again. Let me think about it when the time is right. I asked her why she hadn't remarried all these years. She froze for a moment, but before she could speak I cut in. Don't say it was all for me. You've stared at Father's photo so much it's faded. I mean it, I said, me too. I can't accept anyone else. Anna sat silent at the dinner table for a long time before finally nodding with a bitter smile. Only because I've walked this path do I know how bitter it is. I don't find it bitter at all. Tears welled up in Anna's eyes as she sighed. Child, who do you take after? 28 went to visit uncle and aunt today.
I've talked a lot about you.
Paula, you were always such a crybaby when you were little. 29 No one nags me about marriage anymore. I've finally had some peace and quiet. I used to wonder how someone could love another person for a lifetime. But it happens. Love is such an inexplicable thing. You never know when someone quietly steps into your world and then can never leave again. Paula, I can't get out either. 30 Paula, can you believe it? Milk tea has returned last night in our neighborhood. It looked exactly like milk tea. I wanted to bring it home, but it ran away too fast, as if it came just to see me. I never saw it again after that. 31 Paula, my flowers have taken root. ISNT, it's strange, I actually managed to grow them. When will you visit me in my dreams? I'll show you. 32. It's snowing. Paula. 33. Paula, it's been 20 years. Do you blame me for forgetting? I haven't forgotten, but today there's something more important. Anna is gone. She was just like you, didn't keep her word either. Kept saying she was afraid I'd be lonely, that she'd stay with me for a while. She said she was leaving just like that, going to find her father. She had watched over her father her entire life. In the days before Anna passed away, she kept calling me to come home for meals. During those meals, she would stare at me without blinking. I had already anticipated it then. I just didn't expect it to happen so soon. To have to bid farewell to everyone I love one by one. This home has grown even colder. Paula, I'm a little afraid of the night coming. 34 the night is so long. 35. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve. Uncle and Aunt have invited me to their home for dinner. Paula, I've been listening carefully to what you said, and I'm taking care of them. Uncle and Auntie are both doing well, and they miss you too. Me too. 36. Let us watch the fireworks. Paula. A new year. Happy New Year. 37. Arthur brought his wife to visit me. Yaya was already quite tall, her ponytail bouncing as she called me handsome uncle. Arthur wasn't happy and asked who was more handsome between him and me. Yaya pointed at me with a smile. I smiled for once. After they left, I sat on the balcony for a very, very long time. 38. Autumn has arrived as usual. I bought the chestnuts and roasted sweet potatoes you loved. The autumn breeze is so refreshing. 39. Paula, so much has happened this year. Uncle and Aunt passed away one after another. Now I'm truly alone. This winter has been so long. 40. I made dumplings by myself today. Rarely had the leisure to make 2 different flavors. It just all tastes the same. 41. Paula, the winter is getting colder. My appetite has been getting worse too. I'm getting tired after holding on alone for so long. The sunset is beautiful today. I lean back on the park bench, thinking sluggishly. If only you were here with me. 42. Paula, I said, I can't hold on anymore. Will you blame me? You won tea right. That's good. This winter has been too cold. The flowers have withered. 243. Paula, I had a very long dream. In my dream you held a milk tea in your arms and waved at me from across the street. Peter, you're so slow. I've been waiting for you for so long. Memory 1. After the college entrance exams, Anna asked Peter if he had filled out his application yet. Peter had a candy in his mouth staring at University A on the screen and lazily responded with a hum. ISNT, this an easy choice. Peter had always been decisive since childhood, never giving Anna any reason to worry, so she didn't say much more. In high spirits, Peter went out and casually bought a mango cake from the bakery on his way. I arrived early and waited in front of a residential complex. A few minutes later, a sweet and adorable girl came out of the complex. Peter raised an eyebrow. TSK, what a coincidence. The girl spotted him immediately. What are you doing here? Just passing by. Did you think I was waiting here specially for you? Oh, alright. The girl was about to leave when she was stopped. Peter shoved the cake in his hand toward her. Just happened to buy this. Want some? The girl paused, then muttered under her breath, I prefer strawberry. Peter couldn't hide his embarrassment. Well, are you going to eat it or not? Eat, 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 Peter replied, glancing down as she took the cake. Casually, he added, I heard you also applied to university. What, copying me? The girl paused. I applied to University H. What? The candy fell from Peter's mouth. Didn't you say you chose University A? The girl looked bewildered, her voice trembling as she spoke. Changed to H. University last minute. What's the matter? Nothing, Peter replied, curtly turning to leave before pausing halfway. You're sure about H. University? No more changes. No more changes. Peter turned and broke into a run back the way he came. The girl stared at the retreating figure until it disappeared completely, then belatedly reacted, saying, I heard you're applying to H. University. Anna had just finished arranging flowers in the living room when she suddenly saw Peter rushing into the bedroom, sweating profusely. What's the hurry? Nothing, just changing my application. 2. There was a handsome single guy in freshman year with a bad temper. He'd snap at anyone who confessed to him. According to his roommate, this guy kept posting subtle social media updates, hinting he wanted to fall in love. Yet strangely, he'd reject every single confession without exception. No matter who it was, this situation persisted until the second semester of sophomore year. Everyone had assumed this handsome guy probably wasn't straight, then suddenly, he was in a relationship. What's more, it was the handsome guy who confessed his feelings first. On the day of the confession, the sports field was packed with people. Everyone wanted to see who could make the iron tree bloom, to be precise, whether it was a man or a woman. The handsome one was none other than Peter. He had been confident in his charm since childhood, calmly waiting for Paula's confession. After exchanging pleasantries for quite a while without any response, coupled with some unexpected situations that arose over the past 2 years, things kept getting postponed. It actually dragged on until he was almost a junior in college. When the confession succeeded and Peter carefully held Paula's hand, his heart raced for a long time. A girl's hand is so soft and small. Damn it, he should have confessed long ago. As they walked, he suddenly blurted out an inexplicable, I'm sorry. Paula didn't understand it then, nor did she years later. Paula should have confessed her feelings back in freshman year. But coincidentally, on the very day of the confession, they encountered Peter's creative way of rejecting people. Peter, somewhat numb from rejecting girls, simply made up an excuse, sorry, I'm gay. Paula, crouching by the corner, froze in shock at these words. Because of that one sentence, they remained secretly in love for over 2 years. The famous unrequited love story at H. University was born. 3. Paula loved growing flowers. She also enjoyed teaching Peter. Paula would teach, and Peter would listen. Paula turned her head slightly and met Peter's gaze. Peter didn't spare a single glance for the flowers, his attention entirely on her. Alright then, slacking off are we? Not at all, Peter said guiltily. Then may I trouble our teacher Paula to demonstrate once more? Paula began again with infinite patience. After the 3rd time, Paula gradually lost patience. She put her hands on her hips. Peter, how can you be so stupid? Peter started acting shamelessly. It's fine as long as you can do it right. For Paula's little temper grew day by day under Peter's indulgence. That fool, he'd never miss it. After getting angry, she ran back to the bedroom. The next second, a voice came from outside the door. TSK, who wants to eat strawberry cake? Peter held the cake in his hand silently, counting down 3, 2. Before he could reach one, the door was abruptly flung open. Peter glanced lazily as a beaming face peeked out from behind the door.
Me, I want to eat.
5 First snow. Paula left footprints in the snow with each step exclaiming in delight. Peter trailed slowly behind her, still carrying the unfinished candied chestnuts Paula had been eating. Paula suddenly turned around, her words coming out in visible puffs of breath. She tilted her head up to ask, Peter, do you love me? How long will you love me? Will you love me forever? Of course. Peter pulled her into his arms in one swift motion, lowering his eyes as he answered softly, yet solemnly. I, Peter, will love you always. A very long time. The end.